What's happening, y'all? Welcome to the Mad Skills pregame show. Here with Captain Marrio. Welcome back.
Yeah, first time back this year. Feels good to be back.
It's been a long, short year already.
It has, yeah. A lot of ups and downs and side to sides.
Yeah, a lot of title movements.
Yeah, definitely.
How's everybody doing this evening? Hopefully you all had a good week out there since, 2 weeks since we've seen you, unless you guys happen to make it to the Marrio seminar last week.
It was a good one.
It was, too.
Yeah.
Packed house.
Oh, yeah. Saw you there. That was pretty cool, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you hung out there till damn near midnight.
Way too late.
Yeah.
Way too late.
He was working late, remember?
Yeah.
It was,
Yeah.
definitely. Well, we're doing the pregame show, just waiting for everybody to get back on.
Give chances for everybody to get signed in.
Mm-hmm.
Get your pregame equipment ready.
Yeah, all three of you.
Yep. We'll take them.
Definitely.
Do any fishing the past 2 weeks?
Actually, we did. The trout bite was really good this weekend. Oh gosh, they're just about everywhere. The redfish are starting to get in their warm water spots.
I'm finding them scattered everywhere.
Oh yeah, yeah. This is gonna be a good year.
Yeah,
Definitely.
There's fish movement everywhere.
Mm-hmm. I like it. That's what we want.
Yeah, we'll get a little bit further into depth than that here on the casting couch here with you.
Yeah, I might throw you guys a report.
Yeah, you never know. Never know. How's everybody doing? Just let us know. Say hi.
Share.
Share.
Yeah.
Like,
Follow,
post.
Share.
Yeah, especially if you want to win a little something tonight.
Mm-hmm. We got a little something tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I think we do.
Yeah.
Pretty sure we do. We can find something to give away.
We're not doing the phone thing again.
Yeah, no.
Oh my God, the whole next day, the phone was still ringing.
Bad.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw that or not, but that was our idea, was first or third phone call.
Yeah.
And we left this place with the phone ringing. It was not a good idea.
So we have more than 3 followers.
Yeah, it happened. Yeah. Justin ended up winning.
Yeah, definitely.
What's happening, Mike?
Mikey, what's happened? Chris, yeah. Now Chris needs to buy my lottery tickets because he wins everything.
Does well.
I've always said that. I sat with him at the Fishing for Freedom tournament captain's meeting, and I don't know. We talked about different things, but what rolls through my mind every time I hear Chris's name is like, he needs to buy my lottery tickets.
Winner. That's awesome.
George Quinn, the winner.
Mr. Quinn, I did see that
Yeah,
actually.
Panama City took the big W, man.
First place there.
That was too cool.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Congratulations.
I'd like to hear more on how that tournament went.
Yeah, for sure.
Old GQ
I didn't
himself.
hear much out of Carlos, so
Yeah, I
I
know,
don't know what
man.
happened there.
Hey, it's fishing.
That is. You're fishing against the best.
Yeah. Sometimes you're the windshield, sometimes you're the bug.
Yeah.
Dale, what's going on, my friend?
Before we start the show, just wanted to say a thank you to Mad Skills Electric. Not only do they support us with the community, those folks also support the youth, and our 352 Legends had an awesome sponsor this year.
Yeah.
Speaking of mad skills, yeah.
Yeah.
Those kids are awesome.
Just want to say thank you
Those
guys.
boys balled out. They saw the best of the best, though, man.
Outside of that, I think we're about ready to start the show.
Let's hit it.
Get it on.
Be right back.
What's going to be impressive, I think, is the hole shot. Like when we get that hole shot stuff dialed in, and get the trim command curve all the way up to 100, and we just romp down on this thing. Like everybody's going to have a holy shit moment. It's going to be pretty awesome. I've experienced it. It's pretty cool, man.
Thing.
All right.
Yep.
Welcome to
Fish Talk Live.
presented by all the amazing folks that makes this show happen, man. I tell you what, guys, thank you very much. All of our sponsors out there, thank you, guys.
Absolutely.
We get to sit up here, drink beer, talk with friends, and bullshit a whole lot of fishing stuff.
Yeah, pretend like we do fishing.
That's it. But tonight we have a guest on the show with no BS in his product whatsoever. It is something that we got hooked on with the airboat. It's a wireless, an aftermarket wireless key system for boats. I think it can pretty much be used for anything.
100%.
Designed for boats, but we're going to hear more of that with Andy Meyer, the man himself behind that product, here in a little bit on the Nature Coast Financial Advisors Tackle Table Talk. But before we get into that, Billy, tell me, man, airboat fishing report. I want to hear it.
Airboat's been great.
Yeah.
You know, getting out there in the flats, tides have been on the incoming side. You know, they haven't been as low as they have been the past couple of months.
Incoming?
Or low.
What's that mean?
Yeah, right?
Tide?
You had me confused, like, what did I say?
Yeah.
But yeah, actually getting some water out there again. Fish are moving like crazy. Water temps are just shy of 70 out there. I mean, everything is looking good as far as the fishing goes.
Looking like spring.
It is. It's feeling like spring. Actually found a lemon shark out there again yesterday. Found a sea turtle today, which little green sea turtle. I'm not used to seeing those this time of the year.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, they're supposed to be here in another 2 months. So yeah, it's definitely feeling like spring, and the wildlife are feeling it too.
What about white pelicans?
They are thinning out. I'm still seeing them, but they are not in the big numbers we were seeing 2 months ago.
You know what they say about the ones that stay behind? They're the smartest ones.
Yeah.
Because there's another cold front coming.
Yep. I think it was like 2 or 3, but I don't know about how cold it will get, but it's front nonetheless. Yeah, but it's been nice seeing all the fish out there. Trying not to burn the mangroves, trying to see where the snook are. Those ones are hiding on me. But the redfish, they're all over the flats right now. Drifting through the outer keys, playing through the reef area. Trout moving everywhere. A lot of small flounder. There's a good abundance of fish out there. It's nice to see it.
Good deal. Mullet?
Oodles.
Oodles of mullet. You
Oodles
heard it
of
right
mullet.
here on Fish Talk Live. Oodles of mullet. What about trout?
Trout, like I said, getting out there on the that kind of a golden bottom, the hard limestone bottom, where you can find your sponge and coral in between the grass beds. I'm literally just letting the boat drift with the wind, and I'm moving decent numbers, anywhere from a half dozen to 15 of them. Drift probably about 10, 12 minutes per trip, and they'll pick up, move, and every time I watch them pick up and move, they're gathering another 2 or 3 fish. So
I feel like this is the time of the year where everybody starts lining up right on the edge of the Homosassa Channel.
yeah, I have a feeling that's going to be coming this week.
Even the guides from Crystal River, you make that long haul all the way down south to
That spot's,
Homosassa.
I mean, it's a hard spot to beat. There's
It's a hard bottom spot to be. You're right.
Yep. There's enough room for everybody to play and a abundance of fish.
That's it. Well, good deal. Well, Billy, I tell you what, man, I feel like we've talked about fish enough. I want to hear Marrio, the
right there.
legend, the
One
man,
that actually fishes.
the one that actually fishes, that knows about the fish. I want to hear him finish up the fishing stuff in a little bit on the Ayinde Matthews State Farm casting couch. But I want to see fish.
Yeah.
You ready to see some fish? Mario, you ready to see
Did
some
anybody
fish?
fish this week? Past 2 weeks? Did anybody fish? Did anybody send pictures?
Anybody post photos?
I hope they did.
Let's check it out on the Extreme Decalz Catch of the Week and see what we've got here. Extreme Decalz. Every week, we highlight submissions from our community to celebrate their passion for fishing and showcase their achievements. Don't miss your chance to be featured. Share your fishing experience and connect with fellow anglers.
Oh, you read way faster than me.
Boom.
That's a nice Goldie.
Oh, man, look
Beautiful
at the belly
red.
on that thing. Aaron,
Very nice trout.
beautiful
I think he was
trout.
playing with some artificial, he said. That
What,
wasn't...
Dave?
How
Where's
far
that
south
at?
are you playing?
Yeah, that's got to be out of boundaries for Panama City. Yeah, Billy Ferrara caught 2 in 1 week
Yeah, he did.
last year. No,
We haven't had a
it was
hurricane.
it was after Hurricane
recent.
Ian. That's when we started catching them.
We caught a bunch of them when we were younger, when I was younger, which was many moons ago, but
That's a pretty cool fish.
just north of here.
Was the moon even out then?
Yeah. Yeah.
GQ himself, winner, chicken dinner.
Yeah.
With the mustache too, man. Oh, look at that thing.
Kicking.
How can you not win without a stash like that?
He should be on a Beastie Boys video.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a good red.
Hell
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Look how thick they are, too. Gosh. That's what I love about this area, man.
Yeah.
All of our fish are healthy.
Absolutely.
It looks like Jessica.
Does look like Jessica.
That is Jessica. Nice red.
Very nice.
Ken Claimer.
Kenny getting it done.
Someone else caught that fish, I guarantee it.
He's just showing it off.
I'm just here. Get my picture. Very nice, Ken.
Oh, Rick Clark Gill, some red groupas.
Getting out on the deeper side of life. Very
Is
nice.
he in the skiff?
It kind of looks like a skiff.
It's some kind of bay boat.
No,
Yeah, trolling motor's dead center.
Yeah.
That's fun, though. Nice. I think you lost a boot. Had to work hard for that fish.
I need to know the story on that one.
Where's
Who
the
submitted
other KFC
this?
boot?
Who submitted this? Who? Lou Wilson? Lou, if you could please message us. We need to know
You
what
straight
happened to
ran
that
one
boot.
down.
Yeah,
Where'd that boot go?
we got to know why is there no boot?
Yeah, that usually only happens about 8 beers in.
Yeah.
No boot and a big smile. Happy kid. That's awesome.
And a little bit of mud on the face.
There you go.
Very nice, Mr. Dunning.
He knows how to take some pictures, man. Rocking the glasses.
Holy smokes.
That looks like Pam Worth's picture
That's
right there.
definitely a Pam Worth picture.
Yeah. It's a,
I think it
she's
swallowed
got
a football. That's a good one.
She's got a unique look on that kayak, so
Oof, that
I
thing
can tell
is.
every time.
26,
Oh,
7, 8?
No, 27.
I
I think I remember
Tight
hearing
fish,
about
nice
that.
catch.
Yeah,
Wah, wah,
right
wah.
there, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good fish.
That's
though.
a great fish.
That was a fun fight, I can imagine. Holy smokes.
Ramon.
Nice.
Big ugly.
Big old ugly thing.
Man,
Nice catch. That had to be a hoot.
it'd be some type of bridge. I think I saw Ryan Harrington on a big school of big uglies like yesterday or something on a story
That's awesome.
down south. Oh, is that
I don't know. They got a couple of Ginus now.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so I'm not too sure whose that is. Like to see him
deal.
get back there in that back country.
Oh, that's an
That's
awesome
a
shot.
sweet shot. Heck
Killer.
yeah. Is that our shirt on you?
That is an awesome shot.
Ray, you
Yay.
didn't have to black out the background.
Yeah.
While you're hiding where you're fishing.
Burning the midnight oil.
Yes. That's awesome. Very
Nice.
There's
nice.
the man, the myth, the
Golly,
legend.
that was beautiful
Dude,
snook.
it looks like a tarpon. Like, that thing is thick.
That's awesome. Happy to see y'all getting out there.
Scotty P, that's his PB right there.
I think you really need a bigger bump board.
Yep.
There you
Yeah,
go.
got some shoulders on him.
Legit. Hey.
Oh man, perfect fillet size. I mean, perfect picture size. Perfect
One
picture
hell of a
size.
lady fish. Them
Susie
sheeps.
B.
Looks
Getting her peeps on them sheeps. Oh, that rhymed.
Oh, that's
Mhm.
yeah, that's
That's
Phil.
Susie.
I was wondering, you look familiar? I see you got out there fishing.
Oh, mustache Phil?
Yeah, seaplane Phil.
Seaplane Phil. There it is. That's our
Brewing.
QB1. Played at Disney World, man. Billy, we played this team from Hawaii called the Fire Squad.
Fire Squad.
Mario, these kids were 7, 8 years old, right?
The bias.
They
Fire
were
Squad.
so they practiced 365 days a year in a drainage retention pond.
pond.
That's their field. They have nothing else to do on that island as kids but play flag football
Flag football
and
or
surf.
surf. Yeah.
Like they said, the fishing's no more there. And
Mind-boggling. I've heard that out of Hawaiians before. The fishing
Yeah.
is just not a
yep.
surrounded by water.
Those kids, they were taking sign language for their plays. Like, so in that age group, you can have a coach on the offensive side, calling plays, show, like I used an iPad, and these kids were the coach was on the sideline, None of them spoke the whole thing. The only time the kids would speak is they would call a motion, like they would communicate. But these kids were taking sign language for their plays.
Yeah.
And then but they all knew it. Like
They've been at it since day one of life.
It was amazing. Absolutely incredible. They ended up winning the gold.
The Fire Squad.
That was pretty incredible to be able to compete with. I would like to say with them, but against them. I'd like to say against them, but with them.
Yeah.
That's a lot of dedication.
It is.
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
I asked the guy at the end, it's like, how do you get the kids to not go over there and push each other around and play?
Right.
And he's like, come over. He's like, you can stay with us for a week. He's like, come see how we practice.
Hang out in
There's not much to it. It's like, all right, cool. Sold. All righty, guys. Thank you for submitting those photos to the Extreme Decalz Catch of the Week.
Yeah, makes my
Good
day.
photos this week.
Absolutely.
Some good stuff
fish.
there. Did we hear anything back from Lou on the missing boot situation? I'm curious. So Ray, Go
Yeah,
ahead, Billy.
Ray said he's going to keep that a secret.
Yeah.
That's why he blacked out the background. It's not just fishing in the dark. He just said, nope, you're not going to know.
I already
right.
know where
Here's
it's
my
at
fish.
anyway, so.
That's awesome.
All right, what do you think we hit a commercial? And when we come back, I want to know more about this CoastKey thing. We've been using it for a while now.
Oh, yeah.
I want to dig into it. I want to know how it started, Billy.
What other features can we have out of it?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the big one.
Yep, absolutely.
So let's go to a commercial. When we come back, we're going to shoot on over there to the Tackle Table Talk and find out more about CoastKey. Be right back.
Hi all, my name's Captain Billy with Ozello Boat Airboat Tours. Just got a really cool piece of equipment to introduce to you guys. It's actually a new key switch from CoastKey. It's a really unique setup that they have made. Instead of having your standard key switch to where you actually have a key that's removable, they took it a step further and made a custom pin pad. You have 4 digits to play from. You can pick whatever 4 numbers you want to make your pin. And then it's a start stop from there. And then they also have this really cool lanyard to be able to start and stop for when you're not at the helm. And it's very convenient for that factor. And having this lanyard tied to my belt loop all day, if I happen to eject myself out of the boat, it also acts as a safety lanyard that I have total control straight from this little key fob. So that is a huge plus in our industry for needing a safety lanyard, and this is a great alternative to that. I do get quite a few questions asked about it as far as how the install goes, how is the instructions on it, and I got to say it is mighty simple. Outside of needing the hole saw to cut the proper size hole for the switch itself, they give you a nice plug and play harness. Everything in the instructions is all color coded on where they need to go from your hots, your grounds, your starts, your stops, all that fun stuff. It was a very simple setup. It is a stunning upgrade for a lot of folks with bigger families that have kids running around everywhere. You don't have to worry about somebody taking the key. You just keep the lanyard on your belt buckle at all times, just like a safety lanyard. You can be away from the boat and start and stop it. It's a awesome, awesome product that I highly recommend for your future upgrade.
All righty, welcome to the Nature Coast Financial Advisors.
Tackle Table Talk.
You're supposed to wait till I finish.
Oh,
and then-
well.
Welcome to the Nature Coast Financial Advisors.
Tackle Table Talk.
There we go, that's it. We haven't practiced it at all, so.
No.
Billy, CoastKey. This is something we came across. It was circulating the web, the World Wide Web.
Yep.
And I never forget it. I remember you showed it to me. You said, hey, why has there never been a wireless remote switch key system on an airboat? I said, Billy, I don't know. It's always your traditional what is it, 5-pin or 3-pin?
Yep, 5-pin.
5-pin key switch. They go out every couple months. You got to replace it. But it just didn't make sense to us, so we started digging into it. We met Andy, talked with Andy, and we got one.
Yeah, he told us, he goes, you'll never look back, and he wasn't wrong. He was not wrong. Put this thing through a lot of test runs.
Yeah, and it's a lot more useful than just sounding cool. You know, it's a lot. Yeah. I mean, like the uses we've gotten out of it so far, the protection, the security, you know, the ease, everything on it, worth every single penny. So, but now I want to talk to Andy. I want to know how this got started. I want to know how it works. I want to know what else we can do with this that we haven't been doing.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Brianna, you ready for Mr. Meyer? All right, let's bring on. There he is. Andy, how we doing, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
Wonderful, wonderful.
Better now that we're talking to you. All right.
Thanks for that fantastic introduction.
Hey, listen, thank you for the awesome product. I mean, it's worth the best introduction out there for what you guys put out. So, Andy, we want to know more about, let's start with the company. When did it start? Sure. Where did it start? How did you come up with this idea? And how did you actually make it work? I mean, to be honest with you, you look at something like this, I still can't figure it out. I don't want to figure it out because that's why we have people like you and your team. So tell us a little bit about the company, how it started.
Sure. Well, I can't take credit for inventing it, but we are actually a Norwegian company. The product was developed over there by fishermen, just like yourselves, and it's came into being in 2005. They've been selling it over there since then. We're now on our third generation of the product. It's kind of gotten better as each generation has gone on. We've made refinements as new outboard engines come around, and just constantly refining the product and getting to the point where we are now in this third generation, which is really, really a fantastic product. As I said, selling in Norway since 2005. We came to the U.S. in 2018. We did have to make some changes to the original product that was being sold in Norway because the frequency we were operating on in Norway happened to be a restricted frequency here in the U.S.
Oh, wow.
So that was back in 2010 when we were starting to try to bring it here. So when we found out that we couldn't work on the same frequency in the U.S., they decided to go back to the drawing board and refine the product and come out with a new generation, which really turned out to be a blessing in disguise because the product really jumped in the two generations. The improvements were just amazing. So it was really a good thing, having to change that frequency to accommodate the U.S. They talked originally about maybe having one frequency in Europe and one frequency in the U.S., but the problem we have is that we are on a lot of yacht tenders and stuff like that, boats that travel all around the world. So we really couldn't take a chance on being on a frequency that wasn't operable for us. So that's why we came up with a new frequency and fixed up the product.
It does make sense. You know, when we were at ICAST, Andy, we're sitting there talking to you, and you know we're talking about what else we could do with it. We're talking about the PIN code and all of a sudden, I'll never forget this, those FWC officers walked by, remember that?
Yeah.
And we stopped. I mean, I might have cut somebody off or whatever it may be, but I looked at them and said, guys, you two should be the ones at this booth right now because it makes so much sense. You know, for anyone that depends on keeping the lanyard on them.
Absolutely.
Right? Which, you know, every boater should.
Yeah.
End of the day, every boater should. And this acts as a lanyard as well, right, Andy?
Yeah, absolutely. So just a little aside there. So everybody's probably aware, or if you're not, I'll make you aware now that in 2021, a law went into effect, a federal law that required people to use their lanyard switches. And it's now trickling down to the state level where states are starting to bring their laws into alignment if they had them. And if they didn't have laws, they're starting to write the laws into the books that everybody on boats less than 26 feet must use a lanyard. Well, our product is actually ABYC certified in their component certification program that we meet the law. And we're actually the only wireless lanyard out there, although we do a bunch more besides being just a wireless lanyard. we are the only wireless lanyard out there that is actually ABYC approved.
Beautiful. I mean, I believe that it works. I luckily haven't had to test it. I'm just going to take your word and say that yes.
I mean, we've played around with walking,
walking through the parking lot and see how far of a range it takes, but luckily haven't had to put it to true use.
I keep trying to get Billy to let me eject him from the boat, and but he's not taking me up an offer. So, I mean, it's just I like the pen pad feature. You do have a demo model there. You can kind of give us a run through on it, but that's one thing I really like about it is, our previous key switch, the standard normal key switch for an airboat. We're on tour 5-6 times a day. You get kids on the boat, you get very well-behaved kids, and you get very well-Brody kids on the boat. And and it's always the most fearful thing is, one of those kids reaching around and turning that key switch on. And then the other fearful thing is removing that key switch, losing it, dropping it in the water, and then you got to be on that boat with that kid for a couple more hours to get towed in. But this one, there's a PIN code, and you can customize the PIN code. Set your PIN code so if that child were to reach back and touch those fancy buttons, unless they know the PIN code, they're not starting the boat.
If it wasn't for the PIN code, to be honest with you, 3 days ago, I would have been stuck out there.
That's right. Yep.
Because finally, in a year and a half, I had to replace the battery in the lanyard.
Yeah, and that's a lot of start and stops.
A lot of start and stops.
But yeah.
Finally, I had to replace it, but it was nice. It was like, uh-oh. All right, let's go.
So just actually to give you a little information, so on your fob there's actually an LED in the bottom and an LED on the top, and the bottom one is a red one, and when the battery gets low, that LED will start blinking red once every 3 seconds. So that's kind of giving you a notice that the battery's getting low, just so that you'll be able to change the battery.
We should have read the directions.
I was going to say, I'll now know that for 2027 when I have to do it again.
And it just takes a regular 2032 coin battery. So I always advise everybody to keep a spare battery on board the boat. But as you know, you can use a PIN code to start it if the fob is not working or you lost it or left it home or whatever. You could still start it using that PIN code. Yeah,
the 2032, that's the same as like a power pole.
Yep, identical.
And trolling motor,
Yep. So it's really, like you said, it's a great thing to have on board anyways. Could go for any.
Well, and as you said, you're not stuck, even if the battery were to go dead. But And another thing I wanted to mention, because you were talking about first responders using the kits, we're on a ton of first responder boats, whether it be Department of Natural Resources, U.S. Army Corps of Engineer, lots of law enforcement all over the country, fisheries and biology guys, anybody who works on a boat that really can't use the manual lanyard, our kit is really well suited for those people.
Absolutely. It's nice to be able to step away from the helm, even if it's 3 to 5 feet away from the helm, and not have to be attached to it and accidentally pull it out and tow your boat every time. So that part is brilliant to it. I love it.
So,
absolutely.
And the manual lanyard still works. So really, in theory, if one person wanted to stay behind the wheel, if you had 2 people, one person could use the manual lanyard, the other person could walk around and still both be protected.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
So Andy, I got a quick question for you. I'm going to get some more details on the type of outboard, but GQ himself, Mr. George Quinn, he wants to know, is it easy to install on an outboard? I have a 23-foot sailboat. Could I install one on it?
So is it a tiller motor? Or is it a...
Yeah, that would play into an effect if it was a...
I believe
23 foot. It probably would be. Yeah. A
so let's just say it's steering wheel remote. I remember there being different what do you call them, adapters for the harnesses.
Yeah, yeah.
So let's say it's a yes. Yes. So it's a remote start.
Okay. Yeah. So any boat that has a key switch on it, when you purchase a kit from us, you're going to purchase it for the type engine on the boat. So we would supply a harness for that engine type. So we make plug-and-play harnesses for Mercury, for Yamaha, for Honda, for Suzuki, for Tohatsu. So any of the engines that you have, we would send you a harness that you could simply, no different really than like a trailer harness where you open up a section of harness and you put in between. Same thing with us. You would order for the type engine you have, and we would supply a harness for that engine. You guys in the airboat, since you had like an aftermarket type switch, it wasn't like factory wiring like an outboard might be. You had to get a cut and splice harness, which is what we use as kind of a catch-all. If there's anything really wacky out there, you can always still use a cut and splice harness. And as you guys know, it's super easy to install because it's just a few wires. But again, we have plug-and-play harnesses for all of the major engine manufacturers.
That's beautiful. That makes life very easy for the consumer.
Yeah. All right. So it is tiller. It is a tiller, but it's remote start tiller.
Okay. So with tillers, again, in order for us to, like a tiller boat, the way our kit works, it would be very difficult. But if it has remote start and it has a key switch that you can start it remotely, then yes, you could use our system on there.
Perfect. Yeah, because it was really easy to install.
Very much so. The instructions told you where every wire goes. It was super simple.
Yeah.
It was as easy as replacing the key switch that we always had to do every year anyways.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And you don't have to do it that often.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my favorite part.
Absolutely.
But the plug and play harness is literally all you do is you go to the back of the key switch, you open the harness up, you take our harness and put it in between, and then the third lead goes to our engine box. So it's no cutting, no splicing, unless it's an unusual type of a situation.
Super easy. I like that.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, I didn't realize that because that wasn't the kit that we ordered. So I appreciate you
Right.
telling us that
Right.
that is available.
Yep.
Makes it a lot
Yep.
easier for the consumer to be able to entice them into upgrading.
So Andy, why don't we do this? Because I feel like this is going to drum up some questions. Why don't you go ahead and run, or it's going to drum up some answers to some of these questions. Why don't you go ahead and go to that demo model you have and just kind of give us a run through. Because I want people to realize exactly what it is that we're talking
Experience
about.
what we got to experience.
Yes.
Yeah, so can you guys see that okay?
Perfectly.
Yep.
Okay, so this is our demo box. This is what I use at trade shows and things like that. In the boat, obviously, you wouldn't have all these lights and things going on here. You would just have the start panel here that would be mounted in the dashboard. These lights are just here to kind of explain how the system works, and you kind of get feedback since we're not actually starting an engine that you can hear. Anyway, so our system is modular in design. So you can order something from a very basic system all the way up to a system that can control other things wirelessly. Which is one of the questions that you guys were asking, what else can we control? And we'll get to that. So in its basic form, the basic kit, you come on board the boat, you go ahead and put your battery switch on, and then rather than having to have the keys present, the keys don't need to be there, you just have to put in a PIN code into this panel to unlock it so that you have access to those center buttons to turn the ignition on and start the engine. So the factory code is 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know if you heard it, but you got a little chirp to show that you put in the correct PIN code. And now it's blinking green once every 3 seconds. Not sure if you could see that.
Yeah,
Since we put in the correct PIN code, this is unlocked now, so I have access to the buttons. So I press the on-off, and this is simulating a twin screw here. So the ignition is on both of the motors, and then I simply press the start button. It'll start engine 1, and it'll start engine 2, and then to shut it off, I simply press the on-off again. So that's how you would start it. Now that PIN code, as you guys noticed or might have mentioned, it is changeable by the end user. It could be anywhere from 4 to 6 digits using the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. And super easy to change in the owner's manual, and also on our website we have little video clips showing how to do that. But that's the basic system. The next step up from that is what you guys actually have, which is the standard system. So in the standard system, what we're doing is adding this 2-button fob. Now, anytime you add a fob to a system, a couple of things happen. You no longer have to enter a PIN code in to start the engine. Everything can be done remotely from the fob, although you can always start it using the PIN code. To be honest with you, once you add the fob, nobody does that anymore. Everything is really done from here. So again, when you come on board the boat, you put the battery switch on, and then on the fob, you simply press the on-off button. That'll turn the ignition on. I press and hold the start button. It'll start engine 1 and then engine 2. And then the center LED will turn green. That's indicating that there's a connection between these two. That connection is important because now if you're wearing the fob, this will act as a wireless lanyard, as we talked about before, and it'll shut the engine off. So you guys like to play around when you're on the dock, starting the engine and walk away and see how far away you can get. Well, this communicates by radio frequency, and radio frequency bounces off any reflective surfaces. So when you're in the dock and there are buildings and stuff to bounce off of, you can get kind of far away from the boat before it's actually going to shut off. But when you fall in the water, there's no distance factor at all, because the RF signal can't travel through water. So as soon as you go in the water, these two can't communicate anymore, and the engine will shut off immediately. So you guys, if you're on board the boat, just take the fob, stick your hand down underneath the water, and you'll see the engine shuts off right away.
Oh, wow.
So that's how you. And then the next step up from that would be, instead of that 2-button fob, we sell a 5-button fob. So this would be, as I said, the basic system is just the keyless. The standard system is what you guys have with the 2-button fob. Then we have two levels above that. One is called Premium, and the other is called Premium Plus. And the only difference between those two is that this 5-button fob is called that just for that reason. It's got 5 buttons. You got the center button, and then you got 4 buttons around the outside. So a Premium, 2 of the buttons, the top and the upper and lower button, will be active to control things wirelessly. And the Premium Plus, all 4 buttons are able to control things. So very often, or most often, I guess, people will hook this up to the tilt. They'll tilt the engine up and down here. I could just turn the ignition on. And if you watch these lights over here, these correspond to the up and down buttons, and these to right and left. If I press and hold the up button, I don't know, can you make out the green light coming on?
Yep.
Yes.
The up button, and then the lower button. So you could press it and hold it, tilt the engine up, press and hold it, tilt the engine down. You can also hook that up to an anchor windlass, so you can put the anchor up and down. And then the side-to-side button, same thing. You press and hold it, and these can control other things. You can control jack plates. You can control bow thrusters, pretty much anything that you want to control. So those are the other things you can do wirelessly. Some of our boat builders that we're selling to, they're hooking this up to their digital switching systems. So anything in theory that's controlled through the digital switching, you can control from your fob.
Nice.
And so that's some of the other stuff that we can do.
So with that remote, you could have your tilt and trim and your jack plate on one fob, along with starting.
Exactly.
That's big for the tournament world, because especially for me, like being up in that tower, it's a pain in the butt. Like if I'm, get all the way down the tower, get set up to fish, put the trolling motor down, then all of a sudden,
start bumping bottom.
Back
in the tower he goes.
Well, a lot of people like it too that are trailering their boats. They'll jump in their car and realize that they hadn't put the engine up. They'll stick their arm out the window, tilt the engine up, things of that nature. And I'd say also some boat builders are not putting key switches in their boats at all. They're eliminating the keys, just using us. Vexus, for example, Vexus boats and their fiberglass boats, they're using our systems as a standard. They're not even installing a key switch in them.
I mean, I don't blame them.
And on the saltwater side, we're in Nortex. We're in all the Nortec boats. We just started working with Midnight Express. We're going to be a standard in all of their boats as well.
Nice.
But quite a number of boat builders that we're doing. And also, guys probably aren't familiar, because this is for really bigger boats, is Cox Diesel Outboards. They're using us in their rigging kits as key switches. They're not including keys at all in their rigging. They're using our system.
I've heard of those Cox Diesels, the Outboards. Those are pretty sweet. I've only seen videos of them. Haven't seen one in person yet. Can't wait.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
Diesel Outboard.
See, to me, like that's ideal for like a micro draft.
Oh yeah.
I mean your skinny water, shallow, that is guaranteed has to have a jack plate to run.
Yep.
Tilt trim.
To have that 5-panel switch. Yeah.
That's pretty. All right, so Andy, I've got a new 300 Yamaha. It's got its own Yamaha wireless system in it now, but it doesn't have those same features that that this has. I can switch it out, right? I could.
Yeah, with the Yamaha, with that Hellmaster EX system, that's a keyless system. We recommend not using either us or them. You'd have to actually uninstall their system, because you have to have a fob present with them. It's a proximity sensor, and it's kind of either or. I would recommend probably disconnecting the module their keyless module and using us instead. Or better yet, if you were buying the boat new, just order it with the keys and use us instead, because we're actually a lot cheaper than the keyless. That's one where, you know, it's a little bit tricky because you can't use both fob systems, so to speak. You know, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and I wouldn't want to use. I mean,
I'd rather delete the Yamaha side and go with Coast.
Yeah, I mean, because I remember setting up that helm. It was really frustrating trying to do the jack plate switch because they had all these extra buttons everywhere, and it wasn't compatible, and it was driving me nuts.
Yeah,
so
because you still have a jack plate switch on the dash.
Yeah,
you couldn't do it all in one.
Yeah. So, and again, as I was saying, we have harnesses for pretty much everything. Suzuki, both mechanical and SPC, Honda IST, Honda mechanical, pretty much all of the harnesses we have.
Beautiful.
Good deal. Waterproof, if it goes in the water.
Yep, IP67. Yep, completely waterproof. You can take it, put it in the water as many times as you want. As a matter of fact, when I was telling you that we are ABIC certified, that was part of the certification is they have to take it, put it underwater for like a couple of days or whatever it is, and then test everything. They do UV protection. They do dust intrusion, all sorts of testing to make sure that we actually, meet the law.
Amazing.
Yeah, they're sealed up nice. I mean, even the pin pad on the dash. I love that it's all one solid chunk of rubber. It's not like you don't have plastic in between the rubber pieces. It's sealed.
Right.
It's sweet.
Yeah, that's IP67 on that side as well. Basically, how that works is when we seal the unit, when we put that ring on to seal the silicone down, once that's seated, it goes into an oven to actually create that bond to make it completely waterproof.
That's awesome.
Same thing with the fobs. It's the same system.
Now, somebody's got a question for kayaks. Could you link that 5-button to like a trolling motor to steer a trolling motor, or would that really come down to like the module in the trolling motor?
Basically, if you can access the wires, and you guys would actually know this, because if you can access the power and ground that's used on the key circuit, if you will, or the power circuit for the motor, and then ignition, and I don't know how it works on the electric motor as far as crank. I don't think you'd need that. I think you would just need power and ground and then ignition, like electric. If you could hook up to those 3 wires, in theory, we could shut off that motor, but it would have to be like a cut and splice type harness. Interesting question. I would have to explore it further, but if you can access those wires, I don't see any reason why not, because the way we would shut it off is just by taking power away from the motor.
I can see why a kayak angler would be asking that question.
Yeah.
Sit back and just...
Exactly, yeah.
I can see why that question was asked.
Yeah, that was George Quinn.
Was it?
Yeah. That's a great question. Well, good deal. Billy, do you have, I know we're going to be switching our PIN code.
Yeah.
And was there anything else you had questions for Andy while we got him here?
Not really. I don't have a whole lot of question to it. It is more of a statement of thank you for the product.
Yeah.
I mean,
and I just want to mention one more thing, actually. So when you guys change the PIN code, what's going to happen is the fob is no longer going to be paired. And we do that on purpose because if you lose your fob or if it's stolen, somebody's got the key to your boat.
Ooh.
So the first thing you would do in that case would be change the PIN code. Because as soon as you change the PIN code, the fob is no longer paired.
Gotcha.
And then all you need to do is repair the fob, which is super, super simple.
That's
yep,
genius.
I remember you showing us how to repair the fob at iCast. Yeah, it was pretty darn quick.
Yeah.
That's
genius.
We've
got like some videos on our website. If you go to the support section, kind of talks through how you do some of the individual steps to, how to operate it from the start panel, how to operate it from the fob, how to change the PIN code, how to pair the fob. All those videos are on our website.
I like that you all thought of everything. Like you said, if stolen or sold or anything of that nature, that's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah.
You don't miss a beat.
No, not at all. Andy, thank you very much for coming on. I can tell people are really digging this, and there's no reason not to. It is really cool. It's bringing the boating industry to a new level, but with the reassurance too. You guys are proven. You're obviously very smart, know what you're doing, And
A lot of effort went into those.
if Billy can't break something, then I stand behind it. So
Yeah. Only thing I had
Yeah,
to
if
do is
anybody
change
has
the
any
battery and clip.
questions, yeah, if anybody has any questions, my number's on the website. Just give me a ring. I'm happy to answer questions and go over kayak type questions and things like that. Things that are not maybe so well explained on the website since they're somebody's trying to do something different. So,
gotcha. Well, thank you again, Andy. I really appreciate everything, and hopefully we'll see you at ICAST.
yeah, absolutely. I'll be there.
Sounds
Awesome.
like a plan. We'll have to get dinner. Thank you, sir. And yeah, no, thank you very much. We'll talk to you here soon.
Have a good evening.
Sounds great. Thanks for having me, guys.
Hey,
Bye.
thank you.
Thank you.
Such a great product, great person behind the product.
100%.
Cannot recommend it enough. So cool.
No better person to explain how all the functions work too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very well spoken and easy to talk to.
All right, that was Tackle Table Talk presented by Nature Coast Financial Advisors. And that was CoastKey, Andy Meyer with CoastKey. So check him out online. If you guys ever want to come see how it works on the airboat, stop by. Let us know you're coming. It's a lot of fun to use.
It is. It is. It definitely it gives a whole new approach to the boating world. I mean, it's kind of nice for like even Justin Diamond when he was talking about it. For he drives
yeah,
at the
that's
bow
right.
of his boat on bow fishing charters, and I'm pretty sure he's moved over to CoastKey.
Yeah. Yep.
And that way he doesn't have to be attached to his boat when he runs from bow to stern helping customers.
Just the lanyard side on it too.
That's the best.
Yeah.
It's the best.
All right. Brady, we want to hit a commercial break and then start talking about some fishing? All right, let's hit it. We'll be right back. My name is Captain Gary Bartell Jr., and I own Ozello Keys Marina and Fish Talk Live. We do everything from sling shrimp, fishing charters, airboat tours. We became mostly a hub for the small town of Ozello. It's became a big family is what Ozello Keys Marina is. It's a community. September 2024, we had Hurricane Helene put 5.5 feet of water inside of our building the night that the storm was supposed to hit. Something that we came up with was setting up a pump system inside of our store, but we knew we were going to lose power. So this power station from Abyss set this up as high as possible, plug it into a 110, let it stay charged, plug our pump system into this on a float switch. So when the power does cut out, this is going to last for a long time with the pumps that we had, and it got the job done. We're very optimistic, and we like to come back stronger than what we left with. So because of our community, because of our friends, our team, our partners, we created something really special, and today is the first day that we got to open the doors to everybody. This is one of our biggest successes, going through the storm, is having power when you don't have power. But behind every great product is a great person and a great team. And that is what we learned, is that when you're partnering with someone, you're partnering with a partner. And Abyss Batteries has been that since day one. The team at Abyss Batteries will bend over backwards and do whatever is needed to make sure that you are successful in life, successful with their product, successful in business. And that is the reason why we are partners with Abyss Batteries. Everything that helped us get us through Hurricane Helene, everything that gets us through the fishing tournaments, has got us many trophies. You can get it right here at OKM. So stop by, check it out for yourself. We have guides here that run them religiously. They are going to give you the testimony that you want. So if you want the ultimate fishing experience where you don't have to worry about your batteries dying like that, if you want ease of mind if your power goes out but you don't want the noisy generator, come to OKM, we'll get you taken care of.
Welcome back to the Ayinde Matthews State Farm Casting Couch. I'm Captain Marrio Castello and Captain Billy Fender. We're just sitting here talking dirty jokes.
Pretty much.
It's kind of funny. But we're going to give you a little bit of a fishing report for this area. God, the dirty joke thing is just, it's so funny. But you were saying that on your airboat trips, you're seeing a lot of redfish, a lot of trout, a lot of everything just kind of moving around. It's that time of year where
they're trying to find places to settle.
Oh yeah, they're all doing their migrational, even their local migrational movements, I should say, from inshore to near shore. A lot of stuff coming back out to these islands. It's one of those areas that we fish religiously, I would say. All of the outside stuff in the St. Martin's Keys, in Crystal River and the Suncoast Keys, even in Yankeetown. We like to fish all of those outside barrier islands because they hold fish. And everything is moving that way right now. Actually, Captain Matt, I talked to him, I want to say it was yesterday, and he was saying that he's seeing more and more moving to the outside already, which is a little bit early.
It seems early to me.
It's not like terribly early, but I can see why, you know, we're having these weather patterns that aren't, it's not too terribly cold this time of year.
No, I mean, hanging out in the mid 70s for weeks on end, it definitely changes a lot of patterns.
Oh yeah, it's pushing these fish out. Like I said, they've had a pretty long winter in the backcountry, and there's nothing wrong with fishing them in the backcountry, but it's very cold.
Yep. Like I was talking to Captain Junior Santos yesterday, and he even went and played back in backcountry, played Black Creek, stuff like that, and he found himself once again pushing his way back out into the river system, playing towards the mouth. Yeah. And producing better fish.
Yeah. And again, following mullet, the mullet are going to tell you where they're going to be.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because they're a little bit more temperature sensitive than these redfish.
Seeing a lot of those perfect 4 to 5 inch little fingers in and out of our canal right now. Yeah, I've been wanting to
throw a net.
Snook bait.
Yeah, that's great snook bait. Yeah. Big mud minnows, finger mullet, all that stuff is fantastic. And catch the redfish. We even catch trout on the good sized finger mullets.
Oh yeah, big old yellow bucket mouth.
Oh yeah, but we're starting to see everything come alive again. It's spring. You know, I guess you could call it spring. It's just at the end of winter, but we're having a pretty decent weather pattern. Our cold fronts are far enough apart to where they're going to make that migration out towards the outside.
Not gonna lie, I'm kind of sad about it. I want more winter.
Yeah, yeah.
I was hoping for like 2 more good ones.
Yeah, and every once in a while we have a warm winter, and they don't leave the outside, which is again it happens every couple of years, but we need to have those cold fronts about every 6 or 7 days.
Absolutely.
To actually keep them towards the inside, but it's a pattern. And once you follow the pattern, once you know the patterns, it's pretty easy to find the fish, but. Following mullet.
That's the easiest trend to follow.
Oh, yeah. Especially for redfish,
Yeah.
But the snook won't be very far behind. Like I said, the water's starting to get into that lower 70 range.
Yeah.
And they're going to be crawling out of their wintertime spots for sure.
I've seen it in a handful of spots, like through the St. Martin's River. I have starting to find them around Hangover Island, stuff of that nature. A little bit further east of it, I haven't found them in the deeper pockets, like in Gray Mare or anything of that nature, like I was a few years ago. There was a couple of times, you know, I'd drive over a deeper trough and there'd be 15, 25 snook in it. I have not seen that trend yet.
It will happen very soon.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that.
I'm positive it will. It happens every year. These snook do their normal migrations, and they are more temperature sensitive than the redfish and the trout, for sure. But we're seeing a bunch of them in the rivers right now. You know, I am. But we see them all over some of these oyster bars. If you're lucky enough to be around any springs, they're for sure going to be around some of these springs. So, but just watch for their movement to happen. I would guess in the next 2 or 3 days, you'll start seeing a whole lot more and more of them out on the outside.
Yeah, because I know we're expecting a cold front, tomorrow? And then Thursday is supposed to already be passed through, but I don't think it's much of a temperature change.
Yeah,
I think we're like seeing 60s.
Yeah, short period.
It'll be a pressure change, probably make them go lockjaw for a day or 2, and that's about it.
That's no problem at all, because when it's done,
they're hungry.
Oh yeah, they want to eat.
Short periods do that.
Yeah, for sure. But these redfish are already on the outside. Easy for just about anybody to get to. You don't have to have a super duper shallow running technical skiff to get to these redfish. Just follow your tides, follow the mullet.
It's nice seeing 2 to 4 foot of water out there again.
Oh yeah. So you won't have to call old homosassa propeller.
I don't know if did I show you the video I took I think 2 weeks ago of the reef I was a little over a mile west of Tank and zoomed in. It's just dry land as far as the eye can see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fish Creek Pass 2 was 2 widths of the airboat, and it was exposed land on both sides. It's just a trough.
It looks like a hayfield.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I enjoy it those days on the airboat because I'm the only one out
You're
there.
on an airboat.
Yeah, there's nobody else out there to worry about.
Wow, Thursday's a low of 43.
Oh, man,
Really?
That's a little cooler.
How long is it going to stay cold for?
So Wednesday's a
That
low
night.
of 53, Thursday 43, Friday's a low of 53,
Okay, so it's
and then it goes right back up. But then Sunday, calling for another cold front, and then it goes low of 51.
Okay.
It stays there until Thursday, then it goes to the low of 62.
Yeah,
So I would
pretty-
imagine our water temps are going to change about 2 degrees.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty standard weather pattern for this time of year. So, but they're right now. If you're going to go out tomorrow, that's what I would be looking for. I would start looking at the outer islands, follow the mullets, any activity that you see, any kind of life attracts other life.
Oh yeah.
So any bird activity, any bait activity, you're going to find a fish for sure. And there's a lot of them again this time of year. Everything wants to come out and eat. Like I said, they've been cooped up for the winter time.
That's it.
Yeah, and
They get out there to those clean waters.
They're ready to eat. We saw the pictures from earlier. There's plenty of redfish out there.
Oh, yeah.
And they're thick too. Yeah, they're wanting to eat.
Yeah, finding the dolphin chasing them is pretty.
Oh yeah.
Pretty depressing. They're usually successful.
Now our trout bite again. This is the time if you're looking for the big gator trout. March is the best time of the year in this area to catch yourself something like 24, 25 and over. They're in all their normal places. Look for deep troughs in the backcountry where the surrounding water at low tide is less than a foot deep. You get these big long troughs that are 3 to 4 feet deep, and they have nowhere else to go.
They're just
but into the bottom of these troughs.
chilling.
They're chilling, waiting for food to come overhead when they're hungry. Again, it's cold. It's a little bit cold, so they don't have to eat as often. But when they do eat, they're gonna eat pretty readily.
If you're gonna try and target one of those big fish sitting in one of those troughs, what would you personally toss at it?
I would toss the biggest jerk bait that I had in the boat.
Okay.
5.5 DOA. Depending on how deep the trough is, I would use either an 1/8 ounce jig head, or I would use a one of the death grip hooks from the popping cork company makes it. But it's a hook with about a 1/16 of an ounce of lead that's attached to the hook.
Okay. Puts it towards the belly of the hook, right?
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
okay.
So it sinks a little bit more rapidly. If it's a shallow trough, if it's only 1.5 feet, 2 foot difference than everything else around it, I would just nose hook it with a 3/0 or a 4/0, either a circle hook or a J hook.
Something like you would with like a DOA glow.
Yeah,
for
the DOA glow is
snook,
the
yep.
one bait I would use the DOA glow, and they also make a color. It's called Arkansas glow, which is it's got a glow belly with a brownish colored back.
I don't think I've seen that one.
It works fantastic. It works just as good as the regular glow, depending on the color of the water. The trout don't see color like we see color, so that's one of the reasons the glow works really good, because it's very bright. It's very, very bright.
It just puts a heck of a contrast to the water for them.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and it looks a lot like some of these bait fish that you see swimming around, like we'll say like needlefish and stuff like that. And people don't think that fish eat needlefish, but
They dang sure do.
it's a readily eaten food for a lot of these predators.
Plenty of them available.
especially snook. Yeah,
Ow, those things smell so gross.
they do smell bad. Yeah, they smell a lot.
Well, it's like those. I always forget the name of them. The barracuda cousin,
the Senate.
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 I think, did I tell you about that? That we caught one of those. We were fishing way back in, what's the name of that creek system, Billy? Stony
Stony Lane.
Lane. And fishing way back there. Came up on a school of those little Senates. Caught one, And I was just like, man, you know, this thing has a real distinct smell. It's not like needlefish, but it's like real distinct. So I said, you know what, let's cut them up. Chunked them up. Marrio, we caught, it was like over a dozen redfish on one bait. Kept recasting out there.
They like that stank.
They like the stank.
Oh yeah, because they're oily. They're very oily.
Yes.
That's where the smell comes from. Yeah. But that's any kind of cut bait works great for the redfish. It actually works good for snook too. But
Needs to be a procure scent.
no, yeah.
That scent it stank.
Oh, that Senate stink.
Senate stank.
The stink of the Senate.
Yeah.
The Senate.
I might have to make some phone calls.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Drain the swamp with our Senate stink.
Yeah, there you go. But any of the cut baits, cut mullet works fantastic for redfish. That's one of the staples here. If you're in some of these areas where you're getting into ladyfish really thick, cut up ladyfish works excellent too.
There's plenty of those out there.
Oh
Holy
yeah,
smokes.
A lot of times you can catch so many ladyfish that you want to take them home and cut them up and freeze them or whatnot. But the problem is they fall apart really easily
It's
after
a
they've been
mushy
frozen. Yeah,
fish.
you freeze them, they get mushy when you thaw them out, and they don't stay on the hook really well. You can always salt brine them. It's pretty simple. You can just use some regular pickling salt and have them dried out. They last a lot longer and they stay more solid.
So at that point, you're just pickling it in salt, no liquid?
No liquid.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're basically dehydrating.
Yeah,
it.
almost dehydrating them, but it'll keep their stiffness to them.
Yeah, give some texture to it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And I've missed this Mario knowledge.
Yeah,
Jeez.
that's all new to me.
It's gotten to the point. There was a couple of years ago. Well, this is more than a couple of years. This is probably about 20, 25 years ago. We would go into Kings Bay, and we would just fill up garbage cans full of ladyfish.
Oh, God, they're so
many of
plentiful in
them.
there.
We would use them for grouper bait later, but again, we had the problem where they get soft. We got to the point where we had so many ladyfish that the pickling salt was expensive. So,
Oh yeah.
So what we started to do is we used swimming pool salt, and it worked not quite as well, but you
Better
can
than
buy
freezing.
stuff cheap. Yeah,
Yeah, better than freezing it.
And if you're trying to process 200 pounds of ladyfish, that's the best way to do it.
Yeah, they sell it by the bucket.
Oh yeah, because it's really cheap, but it works. It's anything that can keep that rigid, that solidness to these fish after you freeze them will work. But if you have to, that'd be one of my last resorts is go to the stuff you buy for swimming pools, because it does work. It just doesn't work as good as pickling salt.
Yeah, I would imagine once that bait hits the water again, the whole thing just reabsorbs the salt water
That's exactly
and becomes.
what it does. Yep,
Oh,
it's perfect.
yeah, that really gets you thinking.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's when you don't have a whole lot of money.
You're
That's
right. Yeah, we're gonna make do.
That's what you got to do. But yeah, the redfish are coming onto the outside islands. Anytime you see the mullet jumping, I'd stop there first for sure. Because a lot of questions that I get is where do you start?
Yeah.
Yeah, when you're going out there, there's so many of these islands. There's so many good places to fish.
Yeah. How
Where
do you
do you
pick
start?
a spot?
First thing I do is you look for the mullet.
Yeah.
That's number one. Look for jumping mullet or active mullet. They can be rolling and tipping. Those are good too. But anytime those big schools of mullet go by, they scare up all the pinfish and the crabs and the shrimp and everything that the redfish would normally feed on.
Yeah.
So the redfish follow them, and they're just right behind and right underneath them. And you can see it. The water's so clear.
Oh yeah.
You can
They're just
actually
looking for the
see 'em.
movement below the mullet.
Oh yeah, you can see them following those mullet, and just look at the way that they're swimming, and just get a cut bait or a live bait, or even some of these artificials work pretty good. Just drop it right in front of them and make it known to them, and it's almost a guaranteed hookup.
That's the one nice thing out there right now for using shrimp. There's not a whole lot of pinfish.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
You only have to buy 100 shrimp. That's great.
Yeah.
There's days over here that if I have 4 people on the boat, I have to get 300 shrimp, and that gets expensive.
Yeah.
That gets a whole lot more expensive than brine and ladies.
Yeah, I noticed that playing out there on the airboat doing the drifts. There's no glitter in the grass beds.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the grass beds are kind of blonde right now because they were completely dehydrated for a week. But
yeah, when the grass sits out of the water, yes, it happens to do that every once in a while.
yeah, I'll have to show you that video. It was low.
Yeah, definitely.
It was the lowest day I ran in years. That was fun.
Yeah, them redfish are going to be on those points. Any of those islands that you see, we'll say
Tower boats.
well, yeah. any of those islands where you can see a patch of area that does not have any grass that's up against the island, because a lot of these islands have grass just
All the way
everywhere.
to
There's no pothole. There's no yellow bottom. Any of those islands that you actually do see that yellow bottom within the first 10 or 15 feet up to the trees, that's going to be some of your target spots. So I would try that, especially if you have a spot like that where you see yellow bottom. If any of those spots have the mullet that are jumping or moving around, and if any of those spots are right past a point that the water has to make a 90-degree turn to get around,
Get that flow.
if you have all three of those, it's a guarantee. Yeah, I'd put money on it that there's going to be redfish there feeding. So those
awesome.
three things, yeah. And if you can't catch redfish after that, then I don't know.
Cast nets are legal.
Yeah.
And you need to watch more
Take
Fish
up
Talk
golf.
Live.
Yeah.
Take up golf.
golf. Another thing that's really good this time of year is the sheep's head bite.
Yeah.
It's actually usually that's a wintertime thing for us. They go on offshore and they do their spawn thing, but they're still there. A lot of them make their home there until the middle of the summertime, and sometimes even in the summertime when we're scalloping, we scallop around these rock piles. We see sheep's head around these rock piles. Some of them make their home there.
Yeah.
So, but that's
They're big
normally
at
a
that
place
point.
where they'd spawn. Yeah. But they're still there right now. They should be there. They're normally there until about the middle of March. If it warms up a little bit too much, they'll start coming back into the backcountry. But if you go out there in the next couple of days, it's a sure bet that you can catch some of these big sheep's head, the big spawning sheep's head.
Yeah, because on the flats are all about that big.
Oh yeah. And they're pretty easy to catch. A chunk of shrimp, or even the smaller shrimp that you get when you buy your shrimp, the small shrimp work pretty good on a little knocker rig. Just throw it anywhere near these rock piles. You can actually pull it right up to these rock piles and see them. Any of the rock piles that have that sargasso grass that's growing on them is a plus. They're definitely going to be around those, but even the ones that don't have them will still have a half a dozen to a dozen decent-sized sheep's head on them. But they're good to eat. Don't keep too many because we need them for the winter time.
Yep, and they're a pain to clean, so you're not going to want to sit there for 45 minutes cleaning 2 dozen sheep.
Yeah, but they are delicious.
They are.
Yeah. But that's a quick report for this area. So hopefully you guys get out and go fishing this weekend because it's going to be a good one.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm going out. First time in a while.
Yeah, there it is.
I've got one on Saturday and 2 on Sunday. So
Let's go. All right, guys. So that was Captain Marrio Castello on the Ayinde Matthews State Farm casting couch. And that is it for us tonight. We are going to be giving away a package. Now, we're not going to be doing the Reel of Fortune. We're a little bit out of time for that. But we are going to be giving away to a random person. There was a photo that was submitted about the missing boot, the young man. So his name was Lou.
Yeah, we don't have your boot, but we got you some tackle.
Yeah, Lou.
But we need the story on the missing boot first.
Yeah.
So that's a leverage. So Billy, what do we got over there? We're going to add in this submerged popping cork too.
There it is. We have a bunch of saltwater assassins in a few different flavors here. Got some of their golds, got some big paddle tails, got some mirror lures. Oh boy, tossing everything. Got a good variety between the mirror lure and the saltwater assassin. Got you a bubble buff and a
cool popping cork here.
Yeah, from Submerged.
Yep.
Perfect.
These are good
the
ones.
forever bobber.
Yep.
If you hook up into the mangroves or on an oyster, go back and get it because that's a useful tool.
We even throw in a can of an empty can of Modelo.
So Lou, the gentleman that posted the photo of the kid with the redfish and the missing boot, we want the story on the missing boot, and
I hope it's a good one.
that young man won that whole package right there. What was that, Bray?
Go back and comment on that.
Oh
on that
yeah,
photo.
so if you guys could help us out, go back to that photo, comment on that photo on our Facebook page. Let's get their attention because we want to know the story on the missing boot and get that young man that package that he just won. Real quick, Florida Redfish Series looks like next weekend, not this coming, but the following. We've got March 15th, Jacksonville, a great stop. That's always a huge turnout. Jacksonville is one of those places, if you've never fished it before, go fish it. I mean, there's not a whole lot to it. It's definitely a big learning curve from here, but it's one of those learning curves that that you can figure out pretty easily. I mean, especially on those big king tides.
So they have a little more of a tidal swing than we have here.
Just a little bit.
A little bit.
It's not just the redfish either. I mean, they have a great trout fishery. They have fantastic flounder fishery there.
Yep.
It's all around great fishery up in Jacksonville.
That's a really cool place to go fish. And that's all Florida too. Like when you get north of the city, and it I don't know, it makes me feel a little bit at home. Just different tides.
Oh, yeah.
Different coast.
May 10th, Cedar Key. April 12th, Panacea. May 31st, St. Augustine. So don't forget, you only have to fish 2 of those stops to be qualified for the championship at Steenahatchee on the 19th and the 20th of September. So check it out. Go to their website. Again, cannot vouch enough for that tournament.
It's 100% worth fishing it.
It's worth it. You're going to meet some amazing people. You're going to learn a lot more.
Some extremely top anglers that you can compete against. It's cool.
Yep. Brian Neal is in first and second. Brian Neal.
How do you do that?
Oh, okay. Brian Neal sitting in first place in the kayak division. And then GQ sitting in second. So let's go, guys.
Neck and neck.
JQ, smooth.
It's going to be a good race. Good race.
Love
Excited to see. I hope it comes down to those two right there because I want to see if they keep their friendship over.
Right.
All right, cool. Guys, thank you very much for watching Fish Talk Live. Bree does have a video she wants to play. I don't know if you guys saw, real controversial thing that went viral that she posted. It was a simple quote from a movie, and the wrong people took it the wrong way. The right people had some fun with it and egged it on. So here's that. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Why not?
What's that?
You can't get it to play.
We lied.
Bree can't get to play. So how about we post it on our Facebook page then?
There you go. You can always go back to it.
We can go back to it. Have you seen some of the comments from that?
I don't even know what video it is.
It was a photo. It was a nice photo of one of us in the airboat making a turn, and it said,
"Oh yeah, let's go to the Gulf of America."
No, it said, "Get in, loser. We're going to the Gulf of America." And the quote, "Get in, loser," is from a movie, Mean Girls. So a lot of people took it the wrong way, but
I get a lot of funny looks when I say we're going to the Gulf of America.
It was comical.
Enjoyable.
Go back and read some of those comments. More people need to take up fishing, I can tell you that. All right, everybody. Thank you to our sponsors. Thank you to all of you. Lou, the gentleman that posted the photo of the child with the missing boot.
Get with us.
Message us the story on the missing boot, and he just won a prize package from tonight. So, guys, see you next Tuesday.